Hi, thanks for joining me today. So this video will finish our series on tuning the instrument, and in this installment we'll be using an electronic tuning device. The advantages of using a device like this are probably twofold. One is that it tends to be relatively quick, and the other is that it's good for anybody who maybe is inexperienced with their sense of pitch, or maybe is not quite so confident in their own sense of pitch. There are a couple of disadvantages of using this method for tuning your instrument. One is that if you're going to be working with or playing with an instrument that cannot easily be tuned, like a piano say, then this simply won't work. The other is that, of course, you do need to have a device such as this available. So in order to use a device, there are really two options. One is that you can use a dedicated device, such as the one shown on the left here. That happens to be a Korg device, one that I've had for a number of years. Another option is to simply download an application for your cell phone. There are any number of apps, both free as well as paid, that seem to work just fine. There are also some that can attach to the instrument via a clip. In my personal experience, all three of these kinds rather, seem to work just fine. The phone apps all seem fine. The dedicated ones also good. The clip-ons, anyone seems fine. If anybody out there has run into any apps or any models that they feel are particularly good or bad for that matter, I encourage you to leave a comment on this video to let all of us know what that or those may be. So as is usually the case, our first step is to tune the A string. Let's give that a try. As you can see right now, I'm using the app on my cell phone, and let me play the A on my cello right now. So of course the first thing to make sure of is that it's recognizing it as an A rather than an A sharp or some other tone altogether. And then once you have established that it is recognizing it as an A, you want it to be as accurate as you can get. Now for this particular app, it shows on the bottom axis, let me say that again, it shows on the bottom axis whether it's too flat or too sharp or right on. This particular application is very, very finicky. I would encourage you not to drive yourself too crazy making sure it is completely exact. I think a little bit of tolerance one way or the other is probably fine. In this case, it does seem to be spot on. Now I'm going to switch over to the other device. Let me zoom in a little bit better on that. Other way. Okay, it looks a little skewed because of the angle I have things at, so I can be using both the camera and the device while I'm playing the cello. All right, let me play the A again, and we'll see how it registers on this gizmo. Very similar. It's recognizing it as an A, and the indicator is telling us that it seems to be pretty much spot on. Okay. So then once I'm finished with that, I'm going to go back to the other device. Give me a moment to adjust. Okay, I think that'll work. So now let me try the D string. Okay, just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to purposely flatten the D string a few turns on the finetuner. Okay, I flattened it enough so that the device actually thinks that it's a very sharp C sharp. So let me sharpen it up again. Right, so I got part way there. Tighten it some more. Getting closer. on target here. And then I'll go to the G string. Here it's indicating that the G may be a little bit sharp given the finickiness of this device. I'm tempted to leave it where it is, but just for the visual satisfaction of it, I'll bring it down just a little bit more. And I think that is perfectly acceptable. And then finally the C string. And that also seems to be very good. Now, one of the reasons, this is kind of a side remark, but it's worth saying, for a device like this, it's worthwhile not getting too crazed on the exactness of the pitch, partly because when a cello or any string instrument's string is vibrating, it's actually not going to be an absolutely uniform pitch, right? Depending on the magnitude of the vibration and such, the string length is actually constantly changing a little bit if you think about it. The tension is also changing, so that will cause tiny little fluctuations in the actual pitch. Okay, so we're more or less interested in really the average pitch that is being sounded throughout the course of that tone. Now, even though we finished tuning each of the strings of the cello and we're pretty satisfied with them, it's still a good idea to do a final sound check, if you want to call it that, and just make sure that they all sound good. That's it. We're ready to go. We're ready to do pretty much anything now. If you have any questions or comments, I hope you'll leave them here on this site. If you like, you can also reach me through my webpage, which is shown below. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.